You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Although Hidden Traps is not officially released until August 1st, you can pre-order your paperback or ebook copy now from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 3687.
Oh, let me tell you something. I am so sick of Washington and all its works and all them politicians down there and them congressmen. I'll bet you won't find none of them congressmen signing down their electric blankets tonight. Which if they did, their secretaries would get up and go home.
We gotta do something. Absolutely. You know what we gotta do? Toga party.
Toga! 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 Toga!
I want you to kill every golfer on the course.
Check me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but if I kill all the golfers, they're going to lock me up and throw away the key.
Well, all right. It's Friday night, which means it's time for Robinson and Wright. We're coming to you live right now from KLRNradio.com, and it's just a few minutes past the hour of 11 Eastern, where we do this thing every Friday night, live right here, right now. I am one half of the crew, Mr. Rick Robinson, joined by the other half, Mr. Dan Wright. But I want to take just a second before I turn the mic over to Dan and say a very hearty welcome back to a longtime friend of mine who's finally decided to rejoin the Twitter sphere. That's right, JD, you hear us talk about him all the time, has decided over about the last 48 hours to rejoin the Twitter sphere. Even though he's on West Coast time now, which means he's like 2 hours even behind me, so I mainly catch up whatever he tweets out the next morning. It's still nice to see him back, so I just wanted to say welcome back, brother.
Yes, it's great to have JD back. Anybody who doesn't know who he is really needs to check him out. He's CNN's meth dealer. Really, that's his name, CNN's meth dealer.
Oh, yeah, I know.
JD is one of the wittiest people on Twitter. And it's awesome to have him back.
Yeah, it was funny because he like popped into one of the groups that we're in, like in the middle of a show, and I'm like, holy bleep! And everybody's like, oh my god, it's JD! And I'm like, dude, literally, I'm kind of teared up right now. Don't judge me. And it was the truth, because as soon as I saw him pop in, I literally kind of had that, that guy trying not to cry moment. And I'm like, holy crap, he's back. And now, of course, he'll probably run away screaming because we're talking about it. But anyway, I don't care. It's better than talking about the crap in the news, because this news cycle BS is literally about to drive me to drink.
Yeah. Every day, I'm like, I go, what can happen today to make my brain hurt more than it did yesterday? And it happens. It happens every day. It absolutely happens every day. I mean, right now, I'm actually kind of really just laughing my head off at Debbie Wasserman Shultz. She is literally taking a chapter out of the Hillary Clinton playbook with this whole thing. And it's making me laugh. It's absolutely making me laugh. I mean, this whole investigation into her is racism and sexism. That's the reason for it. Her destroying hard drives and paying basically a criminal that she knew was a criminal for months and months. You know, a guy that gets picked up at the airport after he wires $300,000 to his family in the Middle East. You know, the reason for the investigation is racism and sexism. Yeah. Nothing to see here, folks. It's just racism and sexism. Nothing to see here. I did nothing wrong.
I just have one point of order. It's Debbie Wuzzaman Shultz. Just saying. Sorry, it's kind of my nickname for it. It is. It's literally like listening to Hillary all over again. Well, I mean,
people buy it. People buy it, though. That's what kills me. People buy it. They agree with her.
Is it surprising that it's like listening to Hillary? I mean, what was a man's job before she got canned?
Yeah.
I mean, she basically helped craft the entire DNC playbook for quite some time. So, is it really surprising that she would sound like Hillary? Just, asking. Although now anymore, nobody sounds like Hillary because Hillary sounds like the Crypt Keeper.
Yes, you've made that quite clear the last couple of days.
Oh, so so I have to ask this because on Twitter, we were slammed all day today, so I didn't really get to spend much time on Twitter. But we had a dead time when I was on one of my breaks, and I actually got to take a break for once because usually I'm working through my breaks and getting yelled at because I'm doing things that I'm not supposed to do because I'm not technically a manager, but they treat me like one. But anyway, so so I pull up Twitter for first break, and I'm looking, and there's this dude that has a check mark talking about how if you disparage Hillary, he's going to block you. If you do this, he's going to block you. I've been disparaging Hillary every moment I have a free second all day long, and the dude still has not blocked me. So he's a liar.
Yeah, he hasn't blocked me either.
I tried,
Peter
literally.
Dow.
I literally tried off and on all day. So I'm wondering because, they now have this, because the thing with the blue check marks is they used to be, for famous people that have parody accounts set up for them so people would know, hey, that's the actual real account. Now it's set up this whole Twitter elite system and syndrome because now they can actually go into their settings when they have the little extra special blue check mark and make it where the only interactions they can see or can have are with other blue check marks. I'm pretty sure that guy has his set up that way. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure I would have been blocked by now.
Or you can, we can set it up so that our account isn't locked, but the only thing we see are replies from people who follow us or we follow. We can set our accounts up that way too.
Yeah,
and I think that's
probably
what he did.
It's really not. I mean, it's kind of it's a little bit different when you can set it up to where you only see the stuff from the folks who follow you. That's awesome. But when you can literally say, I don't want to see anything but from anybody that's got a blue check mark, I don't know. To me, that just seems a little weird. Because the way the common folk get to do it on Twitter, that's more to just keep your mentions under control when things go nuts. The I don't want to see anything but blue check marks. That just reminds me of Thurston Howell III on freaking Gilligan's Island. Stay away from me. I'm up in my little bamboo mansion, and you're too good. You're not good enough to come over here. I don't know. The whole thing with the check marks annoys me because because I've literally been told I'm not the type of account they would verify, and I've had somebody else that we know get told that too, and yet they have given the...
No, I got told that too.
They have given the human...
I got told that too, and then I got told that, and then I was suspended a week later, so they obviously didn't like me.
They gave the human Pez dispenser a blue check mark. To hell.
Yeah.
It's like...
I mean, there are some people that... There's some people that have blue check marks that I think absolutely deserve them. But then I get people in my mentions. I mean, people that I've never heard of in my entire life that write some little blog, and they're progressives, and they have they follow 200 people, and they have 900 followers, and they have a blue check mark. I mean, I gave them my full name, my ID, my website, my email, everything to prove I'm me. I mean, verified usually means, yes, we've verified you're you. I thought that's what it meant, but apparently it doesn't. Verified means you have lots of followers and maybe you're conservative, but if you're a progressive, we're just going to give you a blue check mark. Because people that I have never heard of, that don't even write for a real magazine, they write for some little blog site, have blue check marks.
Oh, well,
you own a broadcasting network and you can't get one.
Well, that's because I don't run NPR style programming. Otherwise, they would have given me one in 5 seconds. But
True.
But the thing that doesn't make any sense to me is it's not like we're like on the Trump train, and if it was really about the crazy conservatives, then how the hell have the guy the nickname for the guy I won't say on air because it really is pretty offensive, because you know who I'm talking about when I say the next name, which I don't have an issue with saying, which is the human Pez dispenser. How did those two get blue check marks if this is about conservatism and being opposed to Trump and blah, 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 blah? Because I don't understand that when I've seen other more staunchly conservative people that are not really necessarily in the Trump camp, but willing to at least give him a shot, that are like a total no. So I mean, I don't. If we're not for Trump, shouldn't we automatically get a blue check mark? Because that's everybody that's on the right that says we're not automatically for Trump screams that we're progressive.
You have hashtag the resistance in your bio, and then you're in.
Oh yeah, screw that. Well, I mean, look, at this point, and again, I understand that this is probably the weirdest administration I think I've seen in my lifetime. I'm not going to try to deny that fact. But what the hell are they resisting at this point? I mean, this doesn't make any sense. At this point, let the man start trying to govern, because at least that way, if he starts governing and he screws up, you guys have got a gold mine in 2018. But as it stands right now, all you're doing is pissing everybody off on the right that they're going to vote right for the next 40 years no matter what happens. He can literally, at this point, it could come out that he and Putin were together pissing on the bed in the Lincoln bedroom, and nobody would care at this point because they're so mad because nothing is getting done that they're just going to keep voting right for forever. The left is missing an opportunity here, because I guarantee, and I hate to say this because I'm giving them a playbook, but at this point, if they would leave him alone, get him out of the media every 5 seconds, and let him actually try to govern, when it didn't work, they could take everything back. Because the problem with Trump is he doesn't know how to behave when he's not in the ring. The man is a brawler. That's why he wins every time they come at him the way they're coming at him right now. He doesn't care how bloody he is when it's over, as long as the guy that came at him is on the ground. And that's what he's been doing. And that's why he keeps beating the crap out of the media every chance that he gets, because it's what he does. It's what he knows how to do. It's what the world has taught him to do. And if they would leave him alone and stop making this the White House apprentice every week, then eventually we're going to figure out whether his policies are going to work or they're not going to work. And if they don't work, the Democrats get everything back they've just lost. So I don't understand why they're doing all the things they're doing behind the scenes. That's like, I just saw a piece, and I can't think of the guy's name right now because I don't have it in front of me, but one of the senior people that was a holdover from the Obama administration not only gave Ambassador Rice, let her retain her security clearance, revoked her need-to-know accesses, and basically said she had access to whatever she wanted without having to prove that she needed to know it. He's also systematically going in and removing every conservative that he can find. Why?
Well, it kind of... This is... I've been really thinking about this, and it's funny, we were talking about the resistance. Now, the resistance really, honestly, bases everything on a small group of Trump supporters. They base their whole thing on the alt-right. Everything. And it's a small, tiny little group. The alt-right, on Twitter, maybe if you're the right person, like I was during the primaries, to actually be engaged by a lot of these alt-righters, it may seem like they're a big group. They're a tiny group, and that's where the whole resistance thing stems from. But if you really think about it, they should have been really happy because literally the Republicans nominated a Democrat to put in the White House. He's not a conservative. By any means, he's not. They really should have been happy with that. I mean, am I wrong?
No.
If you look at it, all we ever wanted was to repeal Obamacare. That's all we ever wanted. We just wanted it repealed. We wanted it to go away. This administration gets in, and this group takes over the House and the Senate, and now all of a sudden it's, we're rewriting Obamacare. We're basically going to take it and we're going to massage it a little bit and then repeal it and replace it with this little massaged version of it. No, that's not what any of us asked for. And the Democrats' heads are exploding over it. Oh my God, we want it repealed. All they want to do is take a couple things out of it and leave it there. Why are you so upset? I don't get it. I don't understand. It's almost like we're getting more from Trump than we wanted, than we thought we would, because the Democrats are opposing every little liberal thing that he's pushing just because he's Trump, and they don't want it because he's Trump. It's the whole thing right now with this administration and this Congress. The whole thing is just it's really kind of boggling my mind. You would think that something, if it was any other person in the White House, like if it was Marco Rubio that was in there, and he came up with this repeal and replace thing and was pushing it, the Democrats might be going, oh, well, Marco may not be that bad. But since it's Trump, they're like, nope. Anything he wants to do, we're against, no matter what. He's killing 20 million people by doing this.
Well, it goes even further than that, because while the left is now suddenly opposing liberal policies, the right is embracing them. Because I just saw a piece that was put out by one of the White House advisors that at this point the entire administration is now basically on board with a clean debt ceiling lift.
Yeah.
So let's back this up, because how many times over the last 8 years has the Republican Party either allowed or threatened to let the government shut down over the Democratic Party trying to raise the debt ceiling? Because it was terrible, it was detrimental, it's bad for our credit rating, there's all these things that could go wrong, and all of the things that they're saying are true, or were true, but now that they're the ones in power, we're no longer talking about cutting funding to things to make things work again. We're talking about basically going back to the credit card company, even though we're maxed out, putting a gun to their head and saying, guess what, you're going to extend our credit limit or else. Because that's what happens every time they raise the debt ceiling. It's like getting an extension on your credit card. And all that does is mean that you have to pay more back later. The problem is that they have the ability to basically fire up a printer every time they run out of money. Nobody else in America can do that, but the government can. So they don't care how many times they extend their debt ceiling. Oh, we've overextended again. Hey, let's just go over to the Treasury over here and fire up the printer, put a couple $100 million more in circulation, we'll be okay. But the thing that they don't think about is every time they add to the amount of money that's in circulation, they decrease the value of the money that's already there, which is one of the reasons why you and I, at this point, work our asses off to be able to get about a quarter of what our parents could have gotten with the same kind of money that we make right now today. Because I was thinking about this the other day. When I was a kid in Oklahoma, from about 3 years old to about 7 years old, you know what the middle class median income was in Oklahoma from 1973 to about 1977? Take a guess.
Yeah, it was probably about $25,000.
It was $18,500. At that point in time, that was enough money per year to buy a house, buy a car, and feed your family. And live comfortably doing it. Not extravagantly, but comfortably. I know this because my dad worked for my grandfather at a body shop, and that's why he worked for my grandfather for so many years, because he could make a minimum wage living working with his father instead of having to go into a trade school and make less money taking a job with somebody else. He made really good money for the time. And now you talk about somebody making $18,000 a year. They're on food stamps. They've got access to Medicaid. But the thing that none of this makes sense to me, because all we're doing is killing the economy. The one thing that I can say that I've actually seen Trump kind of do that at least looks good on paper is we suddenly have companies talking about bringing businesses back to America. What concerns me is it's not American companies talking about bringing businesses back to America. We have the company that primarily manufactures Apple iPhones is talking about building a plant in Wyoming. They're also talking about expanding into another territory, and within the next 10 to 15 years have planned on investing, if everything happens the way it's supposed to, about $300 million into this country and our infrastructure, and hired hundreds of thousands of people. And then now we have Toyota. I think it was Toyota and somebody else. I can't remember the name of the other company. They're building a combination plant where they're going to build like Toyota trucks and something else. And it's supposed to be breaking ground in the next couple of years. But it doesn't really matter what.
Yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. With that is what it is it does bring to our economy because they have to build the plant. So by building the plant or facility or whatever they're building, that's generating, because it's going to be constructed here. It's going to be a general contractor in the United States, and it's going to use all subcontractors in the United States. That's great. It's going to create jobs, which creates income for families and everything else, and it stirs that up. But where do the profits go? Profits go to Toyota or Honda or Mitsubishi or whoever it is. I mean, even now, I'll be honest with you, and you and I have talked about it in the past, a huge part of North Carolina's just business, I mean, is Freightliner. One of the biggest truck builders in the world. They have plants all over North Carolina, all the way from their small trucks, their specialty trucks, their large trucks, their parts manufacturing. Most of it is here in North Carolina. But guess who owns Freightliner now? Daimler.
I was going to say, I honestly don't know the answer to that question.
Daimler, which is Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz owns Freightliner. So really the profits from Freightliner, I mean, they put a lot into North Carolina. They really do. But essentially the profits are going to Germany. Because they bought Freightliner. They bailed them out. Basically, Daimler came in and bailed Freightliner out. Now they're booming. They are booming. I mean, 2 of the plants I work in are running 3 shifts. They're running 24 hours a day, pushing trucks out the door. But the profits are still going to Germany.
Yeah, and again, that's like you said, that's the double-edged sword. But that's one of the reasons why we desperately needed, we seriously need to get rid of Obamacare. Period. End of sentence. No exceptions. It needs to be gone because it's single-handedly killing our economy. That was one of the biggest things that we should have done. Now, I don't necessarily think that the Trump administration should have tried to lead with that, because that was a big problem. When you start making noise about, well, we're going to have this thing fixed in 100 days. No, you're not. There's no way you're going to have this fixed in 100 days. And then it turns into, well, we'll start taking it away in pieces. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion. So we're going to do this during this time frame, and then by 2018 we'll have done this, and by 2022 we'll have done this. It's like, oh, so now you've turned it into a power grab after you mistakenly told us that you were going to have this mess fixed in 100 days. I mean, but that's part of what I'm talking about. if the left would stop trying to basically eat themselves over the fact that they've lost and would literally focus, they could literally take everything back in 2018. I don't think it's going to happen at this point because I don't think they're going to coalesce enough to be able to do it. The only thing that would make it happen is if the Trump administration basically just keeps screwing the pooch. But at this point, I mean, the economy's already recovered more under the first, 6-7 months of the Trump administration than it had under the entire 8 years of Obama. So, I mean, no matter what else he does, at this point, the economy is at least finally starting to move in the right direction. We've got a GDP over 3% in the first time since I can't remember when.
Yeah, well, and I mean, the only other thing, too, is, and it's something that I've been calling for pretty hard the last few weeks, is the fact that by pushing the way they did with the Obamacare thing right off the bat, and by waffling over and over in the Senate over this, I'm really, really, really wanting to see a bunch of Republicans get primaried, which could help and it could hurt. I mean, honestly, it really could help or it could hurt. They get primaried and they lose, you know, all of a sudden there's a new name in there and you know how people vote. But at the same time, I'm really, really tired of these career senators and congressmen. I'm so sick of it. I want to see them get primaried. I just really do. And it may hurt us, but I mean, really, is there a difference between McConnell and a Democrat in that seat? I really don't see the difference.
I mean, sadly anymore, there's really not. I mean, and another thing that honestly has me upset, and then we need to take a break because we're long. Two things that honestly have me upset. One is I heard something, and I've actually, through private channels, been able to confirm this, that as McCain came back in right before he made his vote that basically stalled the skinny repeal, which, table how you feel about that for a second, because we all have mixed feelings on that in the first place. But I heard, and I've been able to at least tacitly confirm, that right before he made that vote, he was cutting up with some prominent Democrats and basically said, let's see how Donald Trump can make America great now. Yeah, I kind of heard that too. Now, I've also been able to. I've heard some other things that McCain has said and done too. And McCain he's not a conservative. He may call himself a Republican. He's not a conservative. Respect for the man. And I mean, when he was in the hospital and he found out, you know, that he has cancer and everything, total respect for the man, total respect for what he's been through in his life. He, you know, and just, you know, prayers to him, his family, everything else. But he's not who we need in the Senate. He's not. I mean, if he changed over and just put a D next to his name, I'd have more respect for him. Me too. I would have more respect for him. I mean, honestly, at this point, me too. And we'll actually talk about later in the show another person that's basically changing the letter behind their name. But we really do need to take a break as soon as I can figure out where my bumper went. All right, we'll just run this one. All right, so we are way past bottom of the hour. We're going to take a really quick break, pay some bills. We'll be right back with Robinson and Wright right here on KLRNradio.com.
The following message contains a The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org. Alright, so I think we talked enough about Wuzzaman Shultz, and we kind of got off topic. I want to at least make sure we hit on the main points that we had in the tweet we put out for the show. So what exactly is going on with Acosta? Because I have to admit, I haven't really been keeping up very well with that because I've been watching craziness elsewhere.
Okay, apparently, you know, the presidential and everybody, basically the Washington vacation has started. And I guess I guess it's kind of tradition for the president to come out and greet and shake hands with the press when he goes on vacation. So Trump decided to kind of skip that. And CNN, and especially Acosta, are just up in arms. We were snubbed by the president. Well, you know what? Is this really... I mean, do you look at the last 6 months? Do you really, Jim, do you really think Trump wants to come shake your hand? Honestly, you know how he is, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. You've been a dick to him for 6 months. He doesn't want to shake your hand. He just wants to go off on his vacation. You've been more of a dick to him than I've seen probably anybody in the White House press corps be to any other president in history. And now you're upset that he didn't come out and greet you before he went on vacation? Really? Are you that much of a snowflake? Are you? What you should have done is gone, yeah, I get that. Because I would have. If I was in the press corps and I had treated a sitting president the way Acosta has treated Trump for the last 6 months, and he didn't want to come out and shake my hand before he went on vacation, I would go, yeah, I get that.
You know, well, that's why I wanted
besides the fact that Acosta's been just completely destroyed on Twitter for the last 2 or 3 days anyway.
Well, I mean, when you start
I don't like the guy. The guy...
Uh-oh. We seem to have lost Dan. Give me just a moment. Okay. So, sadly, because he dropped, I'm going to have to play creatively here. Give me just 1 second. Because at least this way I can talk till I see he's come back in. Alright, so we'll try to get him back here in just a moment. Hopefully he calls back in. But I think he was having a phone issue on his end, or it could be my connection. No, my connection's fine, so I'm not sure. But anyway, I say fine. More like fine-ish. Hang on a second. I think this latest update on Twitter has made Twitter a bandwidth floozy, just like Facebook. It seems like lately it's just anything and everything that's open kills the bandwidth. Alright, so I think we have him coming back in now. Hang on, let me get restarted here. Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe it's this. Could be the conference call thing having a fit. Let's try again.
This free conference call is provided by Uber Conference.
Sorry,
joining
you
conference
guys don't
now.
usually hear this part. Welcome back, sir. You died. I don't know what happened.
Hey, I don't. We were both gone.
Oh, well, no, actually, I was still there. I just had to kill the conference, otherwise they were going to hear the crazy hold music that you usually hear. So then I had to restart it.
Oh.
Yeah, fun times. Yeah, you guys got to hear some stuff that you don't normally hear. Well, welcome to Trainwreck Radio. All right, so about the Acosta thing. Look, the dude's been acting like a moron for the last 2 or 3 days, so I really don't really care that he's got his feelings hurt. Also, like you said, let's be real for a second. CNN has done nothing but throw shade at this president since the day he was elected. After giving him nearly unlimited FaceTime up until the primary, the primary was done. I mean, look, I've said it before. I understand why Donald Trump is probably angry with a lot of these people, because up until 5 seconds ago, all of these people were counted among his friends. They talked to him. They hung out with him. They took pictures with him. The crazy chick that made this supposedly funny video of a decapitated head that looked like President Trump like 6 months before, had her picture taken with him at one of his golf courses. These people were his friends until 5 seconds ago. So from an actual human perspective, put this. Let's say it was you, and up until 5 minutes ago, you had this really large group of. Well, actually, you know what? Say you had 5-6 really close, or what you considered pretty good friends. You know, they would come over, they would hang out with you. You would go hang out with them. You'd talk, you'd shoot the crap, whatever. And then one day, they just completely turned on you. And now all of a sudden, well, he's not coming to talk to us anymore. He doesn't shake his hand. It doesn't shake our hand. This is tradition. You know what? What would you do if you were Donald Trump and you were being treated the way that he's being treated now by people that, again, up until 5 seconds ago, were basically his friends? And again, I don't get it, because everything that he's putting forward, for the most part, has been fairly liberal. And nobody's talking about that fact. But it doesn't make any sense, because the Democrats don't care, because if it's got Trump's name on it, it can't happen. But that's because we have this great divide in this country anymore that is getting worse instead of getting better. Nobody talks about working together anymore unless they have the same letters behind their names. Period. And now, because Donald Trump is such a polarizing figure, even his own party doesn't want to work with him. What concerns me is now I hear conservatives talking about Donald Trump needs to govern by executive order because he can't get anything done. Look, I hate to tell you this, but other than the fact that Obamacare hasn't been repealed, the fact that we've really done zero legislation right now is actually not a bad thing. Gridlock, especially in Congress, is a good thing, because right now that means the government's pretty much staying out of our business, in so much as the stuff that they're not already in.
No, absolutely. I mean, I really would have liked to seen them start off with tax reform instead of Obamacare repeal, because what starting off with Obamacare repeal, what it did was they didn't get it done, and it pissed everybody off. That's a problem. But you're right. I mean, Congress not doing anything is pretty much a good thing. You know, I mean, not doing anything except for raising the debt ceiling. But, you know, that just goes to prove that it's really, they can sit and bicker at each other all they want and act binary all they want, but it's really one party. But either way, you're right. Them getting basically nothing done is most of the time better than them getting something done. No matter what gets passed, there's going to be riders in it that we don't want.
And I thought that was always kind of the idea behind conservatism, was we really kind of just want the government to leave us alone. So yeah, there were two key things that I really wanted him to do. I wanted him to get rid of Obamacare, because that would have unshackled the economy again. I wanted him to do the tax reform, get us to the point where we have... I mean, honestly, what I would really love to see is either a fair tax or a flat tax. I'm good with either one. I'm good with a hybrid between the two, because one of the first things we would be able to do is get rid of the damned IRS, because we wouldn't need them anymore. Because it would make things so much more simple. How much money could we actually save if the IRS was gone? Because under that system, we wouldn't necessarily need them. We would need a few accountants that would have to work, probably 2-3 months out of the year to make sure that people are paying in everything they're supposed to pay at the end of the year, because that would basically be what would happen. You would have a tax bill that would come due, and that would be it. You would pay it, and that would be the end of it. There wouldn't be any of this, stand on one foot, hop, turn in 14 circles, spin back on the right foot, and hold your tongue just right, and you may or may not get a refund. I mean, how much of our government is overburdening us right now? So On one hand, yes, I'm really, really mad that Obamacare didn't get repealed. I'm really, really pissed off at the Republicans because they fed us a line of crap for 7.5 years, and then when they finally had a chance to do something with it, they said, turn and cough, because we're about to stick it to you just like the Democrats. We hope you don't mind, but that's what we're about to do. And that's exactly what they've done, because now they've made it impossible. Because now the only way that they're going to be able to do anything about Obamacare is once it implodes. And when it implodes, it's going to take the medical industry and the insurance industry with it. And then the government's going to have to swoop in and pick up the pieces. Blammo, whammo, here comes single payer, whether you want it or not. And that's why we kept saying, don't listen to the guys that are saying let it fail and then pick up the pieces, because there's not going to be time to pick up the pieces once it fails. It's already nearing catastrophic failure as it is. In my state, there's one company left on the exchanges, and they're leaving, by the way.
Yeah, and that you're not the first state to have that happen.
And
it's bad.
And now
it's bad. And the whole goal of Obamacare was to ultimately have single payer. That was the whole goal. I'm convinced of that. And the Republicans are now letting that happen. They are now letting that happen. We're going to have single payer. That's the road we're going down. It's going to be single payer. And to all those people that think it's going to be great, wait until you really get sick. Wait until you really get sick. It's going to be bad. Everybody that touts Obamacare and touts single payer, they all go, look how great it is in Canada. Your health care almost really costs you nothing. Well, why are Canadians in droves trying to get down here to get cancer treatment?
Because if they try to get it up there, they're going to die first.
The waiting period up there is death. Okay, well, this is what you need, and we're going to put you on the list. You'll probably be dead before you get your treatment, but we'll put you on the list. Canadians come down here in droves to go to our cancer centers. And then they pay for it out of pocket because their insurance won't cover it. But they do it because they want to live.
All right, well, you have to work tomorrow, and I have some things I definitely need to get done, and we're rounding the corner towards the top of the hour. Anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
Yeah. Progressives need to leave Dana Loesch alone.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say it. Dude, I'm going to have to go find this ad that they're throwing a fit about, because I have been out of touch for most of the evening because I was an auction fundraiser for my high school son's football team. So I have no idea what's going on. I've seen that Dana Loesch is trending, and I've seen friends that we know being quote tweeted by Dana, which was kind of awesome. Because I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
what?
I mean, it's the whole thing is over a word, and I don't even necessarily totally agree with this ad campaign. It's been going on for a while. This campaign's been going on for a while. This NRA ad campaign. I mean, I do agree with it. I don't necessarily agree with the approach. As soon as I saw the first ad a couple months ago, I was like, oh, the left is just going to go nuts over this. And they did. And they have been since. But it comes down to a phrase, iron fist. And she says that in it, she says iron fist. And so now it's going between words. And that's fine. If columnists from the Washington Post and the New York Times want to debate her on what she said or on the content of the ad, that's fine. But when they come out with hashtags about Dana Loesch being into fisting and stuff like that and getting really vile, and, the same people that if you say one word to a woman, they say, oh, you're just a right-wing misogynist, are now being complete misogynists. It really gets old. You know, and now anybody that says anything to the one guy from the Washington Post, I won't name his name. You can go on Twitter and see it if you want. He's basically, anybody that questions what he has said, he's just blocking them. He's just going into his bubble, and he blocked her, and he's quote tweeting her. He's actually copy-pasting, I guess, from another account her tweets and quote tweeting her. And I said something about, oh, so you're tweeting her from behind a block. And somebody else going, he didn't block her. Yes, he did. You can tell on Twitter when somebody is blocked because the tweet doesn't show up. And it's just, these guys are just going after her, and they won't quit. And she's going to make them look stupid on her show. This is what's going to happen, like she always does.
She said,
I'm gathering all of this.
I finally found an affiliate in my area that runs her show. It happens to be one of the stations that I've been listening to a lot lately that I was trying to get airtime on, but apparently they don't have any. So I guess I'm going to the number one station here pretty quick. Whatever.
She does a great show. She does a great show. And when I actually had a cable system that carried the Blaze, I watched her every night. She does a fantastic show. And she's fair. You know, she's not, you know, obviously she's pro Second Amendment, but I mean, in general, she's fair. And when she has somebody on her show, she's fair. And these guys are not fair. They just come right out with just being rude. And I don't get that mentality. I really don't.
Yeah, it was.
You know, being a little bit rude is fine, but you create a hashtag Dana fisting, really?
Wishful thinking on their part, probably. You know, the funny thing is, speaking of Dana, and then we need to wrap up. I actually, because I found an affiliate that was running her show, I actually had been listening to her show because it comes on while I'm at lunch. I actually got in trouble once because I was eating lunch in my cubicle and I was laughing so hard that I started annoying the people next to me. And we work in a pretty spaced out office, so the cubicles aren't necessarily right next to each other. And they were still like, "What the hell, dude?" She had gotten on some kick, and I missed where it came from. But one of the people that was talking to her that was a caller had said something about kicking him in the neck. And like everything that she said, for 20 minutes after that, she would say something and she'd be like, "We just need to kick it in the neck." And I'm like, after like the fifth time, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm dying." And I'm literally laughing, and people are coming over to make sure I'm all right. And I'm like, "Yes, I promise I'm fine. I'm on my lunch break. Leave me alone." It was hilarious.
Yeah, she does a great show. She's good on the radio, and she's good on TV, and she's smart, and like I said, she's fair. You know, that's the whole thing that bugs me is they go after her because of her beliefs, not realizing if they would sit down and listen to her show, she is fair. She will give anybody a chance to come on and debate their point, and she debates with them cordially. You know, I really don't get the whole they just freaking hate her. She gets death threats all the time. She gets death threats. What do death threats do, really? Except for make you look really bad.
Exactly. All right, so why don't you remind folks where it is that they can hang out with you when you're not on the radio hanging out with me?
You can hang out with me on Twitter at MadFeist. It's MadFeist. And you can hang out with me on Facebook. Obviously, my name, Daniel Wright.
All right, and of course,
that's about it.
And of course, you can hang out with me on Twitter if you choose at AOTR_host, or you can shoot me a friend's request on Facebook. Just search Rick Robinson, look for the guy with the little Time Magazine looking cover. That's yours truly. On that note, folks, we are out for the night. I will be back with you before you know it, live on Monday night. Stay tuned tomorrow night on CRNDigitalTalk.com for America Off the Rails, the California edition at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, 7 Pacific. And I will see you guys when I see you. Take care. God bless. We're out because my internet, for some reason, is suddenly going crazy, too.
Everything is changing.